Hello again. This is the fourth module in the Facilitators Programme with code with Altino, and this module is called Choosing the Right Program. Let's get started. The learning outcomes for this module is to identify the different types of programs available. Secondly, to make sure you choose the right code with Altino programs for your students and your school. And for early high school, understand the different programs may be more suitable for different student groups. So let's get started. This module replicates the content in a document that we've put together called Teacher's Guide to the Code with Altino curriculum. This document does stand on its own and is available at this link, has a separate publicly available link. I'm going to click into it now. Note that there is a separate link for New South Wales schools and non-New South Wales schools. Here we go. So that link links into the public link of the Code with Altino website. Here is the Teacher's Guide under the Start Here tab. So you can look at this as not part of this video tutorial if it's easy to read, but I'm going to actually start here with the Australian schools, not the New South Wales schools. I'll quickly talk about New South Wales schools after going through this guide with you. So this is the Teacher's Guide to the Code with Altino curriculum for school levels, early learning right through to Year 12, excluding New South Wales. The purpose of this guide, firstly, to make it easy for teachers to increase digital technologies literacy and STEM and STEAM learning. Secondly, to help teachers to deliver the ACARA syllabus or the Australian curriculum in the areas of digital technologies, science, mathematics, music and visual art. All the resources for the Code with Altino curriculum are at this website, codewithaltino.com.au. And here is a sample of what all the curriculums look like. For example, this is Module 1 of the Arduino curriculum for Stage 4 or high school Years 7 and 8. And here is the cover of Module 1 for the Scratch curriculum Stages 2 to 3. All the curriculums have similar structure. The mapping to the ACARA syllabus is also available for each stage. And obviously for New South Wales schools, the mapping is available for NESA. The delivery method. The curricula has been designed to be delivered by Australian teachers who are tech savvy and also non-tech savvy in classrooms. Teachers elect 1 to 2 digital leaders or students for each class, and this is showing how each module is separated into technology and non-technology streams. So non-tech savvy teachers can identify where the help of digital leaders may be required. So let's have a look at the sample here. This is the structure of Module 5 Fast Track Scratch program, and this is for Year 7 and 8 or Stage 4 high school. So the module is called Make a Robot Move. Coding and robotic skills are on the left-hand side, and this is where the teachers can engage with the student digital leaders to help them demonstrate how to make robots move. These are the various exercises involved. And these are some of the STEM topics that the teachers talk through. For instance, the students will learn about wheels, the students will learn about motors, the students will learn about how they're controlling the robot movement with motors. So they're not only doing the coding and the programming, they're learning the why of movement of robots and so forth. And this is where the teacher can come in, follow the bouncing ball curriculum to describe how everything works. The Facilitators Program, if you're listening to this is a video recording of the Facilitators Program. It is optimum for us to deliver to you in-house. For example, I will be standing in front of you all delivering this program. So this is run on-site at school, but obviously this is the video recording option. You can also add this to your teacher's professional development pathway. The Facilitators Program includes a curriculum structure and design, robot demonstrations, obviously if it's on site. It includes training in how to use the Altino apps, Scratch programming and Python, and advice in selecting curricular languages to suit your students. And this is what we would do on site, but this is what we're talking through now as a video recording. So firstly, for primary school, for years kindy to, or kindy could be called in New South Wales, to second, year 2. Firstly, we have a crayon app to teach your students about sequential thinking, having fun with maths in the real world, and basic understanding of how computer programming works. And we do have a module in the Facilitators Program that gives you a quick heads up for how this app works. In years 3 to 6, they can also use the crayon app, and they can learn to operate the robot by using sequential programming. You can do that as a 30-minute exercise, or the students might enjoy it so much you might actually extend some more exercises. They can use a remote control driving app, and then that's how they learn to operate the robot as an app user. You can see all the functions up the top. After that, they can learn to program in Scratch language. They can learn to program all robot functions, and there are 14 modules all up. It's called a foundation module, and it may take about 16 hours to deliver that. You can take the 16 hours, you can take longer, you can take less, it's totally up to you, and then you can take as long as you like on each module. And then if you like, this isn't necessary for a CARA, but if you really want to push the programming in your primary school, after that your students can actually learn to program in Python. Once again, all robot functions. So what happens is they've already gone through the Scratch language, they've learned the semantics of Scratch, the syntax, the language, they've learned the semantics, what the programming means, and they've learnt the application, how that applies to the real world. Now when they go on to Python, which is a more advanced text-based language, all they need to learn is the syntax of the language, making it easier for them to step up, because they've already learned the application, how the programming works, and they've also already learnt the semantics in terms of what that programming means. How about high school, years 7 and 8? Due to variances of high school students, curricular pathways have been developed for 3 different types of students. Firstly, coding beginners, students who have not had any experience with computer programming. Secondly, specialist computing. These are students who have a passion or interest in computer science, robotics or technology, and may choose to specialise in this area in the future. These may only be about 10 or 20% of your student group in year 7 and 8. The general pathway is basically students who don't fall into either of those two. And we really can't predict where most of your students will fall. I would imagine if your school students haven't had any exposure to computer programming, you would generally find your students will be falling into the general. These pathways are shown in the next table. They're provided as a guide only, and curriculum delivery hours are estimations. So here are our 3 groups: the coding beginners, the general, and specialist computing. And it's showing the 3 languages that they can learn. Scratch Fast Track. It's called Scratch Fast Track because we also have a Scratch program for primary school, but it's called Fast Track because we want to move your students onto text-based languages in high school as fast as we can, while making sure they don't miss out on the foundation learning. So for instance, the coding beginners, we suggest that they do modules F1 to F11 of Scratch Fast Track, and then they can progress to Python if they want to. In the specialist computing category, these are students, because they're so engaged in robotics and computing, they've probably had already a lot of exposure to computing. So we recommend that they go straight to the C Arduino program, and those modules are called CAR 1 to CAR 13. And then you've got the estimated delivery hours of each of these streams on the right-hand side. Again, they're only estimated. Note there's an asterisk there with the coding beginners. This is because if you go from Scratch to Python, already 6 hours of the Python curriculum have been delivered via the Scratch curriculum. So you're not really making the learning slow by doing Scratch, because we have taken account of that when we have designed the Python curriculum, and you can see easily which content has already been delivered through Scratch, and you can just skip that. And then 18 hours, for the general people who don't fit into either of those categories, which could be most of your students. Basically, you can get them straight onto Python because we're assuming they've already had some foundation in coding and they're ready to move on to Python, but that's up to you. Scion Australia is currently developing the Towards 2025 program that will be especially designed for Year 7 students in 2019. This program will be ready for teacher delivery in 2021 when these students commence Year 9. It is being designed by Tony Amos, that's me. I do have extensive experience with technology, learning design, change management, and extensive experience in corporate and business management. So the purpose of this program is to provide educational content and activity that helps prepare students for the future workplace in 2025. The topics will include soft and technology skills such as emotional intelligence, computer programming and robotics skills profile, and that's something that your students can show future employers. They can actually prove that, yes, I've learned about coding and robotics, and I'll use this profile to show my understanding of how it all works. Accessing API libraries for software programming, communication and teamwork skills, theory and practice, general business knowledge and entrepreneurial practice. And that's where I will be using my knowledge and moving that over to your students with my experience. Developments in ACARA syllabus will be monitored in case of mapping possibilities to syllabus outcomes. So any prerequisites for students going through that program is any Code with Altino program. So we really look forward to delivering that to you in your school after the year 2021. So the next page shows a summary guide for all levels. The blue font is optional and may be additional to ACARA syllabus requirements. How about if you're interested in teaching some of these programs to your current years 9 and 10? You can teach the existing Python or C Arduino curriculum to these guys as an effective way to teach computer programming. However, there is no mapping to the years 9 to 10 ACARA syllabus. Scion Korea have also generated international curricula, and this is what we have based our computer programming examples on because it's proven to teach computer programming throughout the world in thousands of different schools. It is available for you to purchase at any time. There obviously is no mapping to Australian syllabus and there's no STEM content. It is really only recommended that teachers with a technology background deliver these particular programs. So here is a summary of really what we've just talked through. If you want to use this as an explanation or a way to sit with a group of teachers and identify the best programs, I recommend you print this on an A3 piece of paper. It's just easier to read. So I won't go through this again, but again, it's basically a summary of what we've already talked through in this video in terms of identifying the best programs for your students. And of course, if you have any questions at all, you can always email me direct. We recommend also that you have a look on our Facebook page. There's what you search for there, and it will show you some examples of what we've done in the educational community, in expos, and also shows just an example of how how schools have been using Altino and the fun that they've been having with the robot. So that was the end of the Teacher's Guide. We're at the end of this module. Thank you for listening.